Nobody knows.
This is DJ Jordan, representing Unity Radio, and you're listening to the North Face and Friend Show on Unity Radio 92.8.
This is Charlotte Hailing, and you're listening to the North Face and Friend Show on Unity Radio, the real sound of the city.
Go to the upgrades. Gonna go to the upgrades, come back the other side, one more piece of friends.
Hey, this is Diesel Boy, and you're listening to the North Face and Friends Show on Unity Radio.
Welcome back. So we start with this one. Back from the ads. Serum featuring Trigger. Part 2. Here we go. Manchester business. I'll take a push up on our heart. Ram Records. Track entitled Shall We Begin?
Too sexy for my love. Too sexy for my love. Love's coming. Too sexy for my love. Too sexy for my love. Love's coming.
Hey, this is Dynamite MC. Are you checking out the North Face and French show on Unity Radio? The real sound of the city. Track before. Yeah, inside info. Spy chase. This one right here. High contrast. Questions. So yeah, that's right. Don't forget, Office of Friends Unity Radio 92.8 FM. Guest mix tonight, Code Zero, all the way from Puerto Rico, baby. He's gonna need our 60 minutes of the final super bass. Keep it locked, Unity Radio 92.8 FM. Just get some sound effects. Yeah.
Some more basic friends on Unity Radio, the real sound of city.
This is Gridlock, and you're listening to the North Bass and Friends Show on Unity Radio, the real sound of the city.
You know this one by now. Sounds like Uncle TC. Black Hole. How much some of the lyrics? Yeah, yeah, please. So we get to the studio. That's where you in front of our message at 80818. Watch out, we get to the tune. Here we go. Yo, this is DJ Turno, and right now, you're at the North Face and Friends live on Unity Radio. Right, so let's have a big shout out to Pasquale and all of you from the University Club. And that's all Chris is over and Saturday Spicy down there next week. That's what's going on. Send it out to all the students. I know it's exam time, big time for you guys this year. I wish you the most and the best of luck. This is the future of the university. And I hope to see you soon down at DBE once again. Now we roll, not place of friends.
You are now entering the mix on North Face and Friends.
DJ Turbo, don't touch that dial. You're fun. I told you, leave that alone. It's a North Face show on Unity Radio. right. Onto the Wilkinson, brand new. Track before that, Volatile Cycle, Trespass. So give it to the ads. Give me some bills, come back the other side with a mix from Mr. Code Zero, Puerto Rico. So keep it locked here, Unity Radio 92.8 FM. North Face Effects.
Yo, what up? It's your boy DJ Crazy. You're listening to North Bass and Friends on Unity Radio 92.8 FM. Keep it locked, fans.
Okay, so as promised, guest mix tonight, all the way from Puerto Rico. If you don't know where that is, it's a little island of Miami, USA. My boy, Mr. Code Zero, been in the game for a big minute. One of the main guys down there in Puerto Rico, probably #1 DJ on the island actually. So here he is, 60-minute bits, uninterrupted, without a stutter. So we got Code Zero, in the mix, North Face and Friends.
Hi, this is Direction, and you're listening to North Bass on the Unity Radio.
Got email.
If you're just joining us, North Face and Friends, guest mix tonight called Zero. All over Puerto Rico. Keep it locked here. Really great night. Right, so you just locked on North Face and Friends Unity Radio 92.8 FM. We're in the mix right now. The Code Zero all the way from Puerto Rico. It's a different selection. So we're going to move into the ad breaks. We're going to come back with the side more mixing from a man like Code Zero. So keep it locked here, Unity Radio 92.8 FM. You know what we do.
You're listening to the North Basin Friends Radio, the real sound of the city.
Back aside from the ads, Code Zero in the mix, we leave us with you. Peace.
I think I shaved my head today. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Yeah.
Unit Radio 92.8 FM. It's a French show. In the mix tonight, all the way from Puerto Rico. Got on that Code Zero. Keep it locked. Unit Radio 92.8 FM. We're going in.
You were listening to the sounds of North Bass. North Bass in session.
So just join us. Pop into French New Radio 90.FM. Back there with something to add and back into the mix. Man that cold zero. Don't talk for me, don't let the rest 20 minutes play out. Back with the side.
Needs and the doctors and nurses should be sent. And a Dorset man who is walking from Portland to Southampton backwards is due to finish his challenge later. Wayne Ingram's daughter Freya has adolescent idiopathic scoliosis. The rare spinal condition affects 1 in 1,000 children in the UK. Wayne is raising awareness. Weather now this morning will be largely bright. It will remain mostly dry with patchy cloud, staying mild, highs expected of 20. We'll be back for an early lunch bulletin at 1:15. Do join us then if you can, but for now, have a lovely morning. Goodbye.
Welcome back. Delighted to say you're about to meet a young man called Henry. Henry's just 4 years old, but he is a very inspiring young fellow who loves running, swimming, cycling, trampolining, like all 4-year-olds do.
Yeah, they do, but he has to do all of that while attached to a ventilator tube that's keeping him alive. Lizzie Rose went to meet him and hear about the huge challenges he's overcome.
Starting preschool is always a big moment. But for 4-year-old Henry, who spent his early years living at one of the country's biggest children's hospitals, this is another huge achievement.
He's never played with, 20 children in one room before, not in a nursery setting with activities and structure. So it's fantastic.
Henry was born with a number of conditions, one of which means his windpipe doesn't allow for growth. At just weeks old, he was rushed to London for life-saving surgery.
If it wasn't for that, he wouldn't be here today. He absolutely wouldn't be. He's got one lung that doesn't work very well. He's got one lung that's kind of normal. He's just a complete anomaly.
It was the start of 15 months and 2 Christmases in hospital. But that's where Henry became a star.
Would it be okay if I came home to you?
The star of a TV advert and the star on top of a famous Christmas tree.
They said, we've actually got a puppet that's been made of Henry that's going to go on top of the Hamlet's Christmas tree. We were just like completely blown away.
And Henry still has dozens of fans.
Where could it be?
Phenomenal for a child with a tracheostomy and ventilation. He loves climbing trees. He's around the parks all the time. We've just been to Alton Towers. We've been on the roller coasters.
The complexity of Henry's condition means even medical experts don't know if or when he'll be able to come off his ventilator, but he's ready to take on any challenges that come his way.
He's just a 4-year-old little boy, and he's just full of joy, full of energy. And as long as I'm behind him, then we make it happen. If he goes down the slide, so do I.
Amazing. Right, Henry and his mum Siobhan join us now from their home in Bridlington, East Yorkshire. Morning to both of you. How are you this morning, Siobhan, and how's Henry?
Good morning, we're okay, thank you.
Morning. Listen, what an amazing story the two of you have to tell. And the one thing that really occurs to me is this is keeping you very fit, isn't it? Trying to keep up with a 4-year-old all the time.
Absolutely, yeah. It's obviously challenging, but I mean, who wouldn't do it for the child? You know, I just have to keep up with him. Anybody that's with Henry just has to keep up with him. But we just try and live a normal life as possible, and we just try and enjoy it. You know, we had a rough beginning, a rough start. And we're just trying to make the best of what we can with the position we're in at the moment.
Yeah, it's not absolutely not to undermine the kind of challenges that you face and how exhausting it must be every single day. But Siobhan, just tell us a bit about this condition that he was diagnosed with when he was so little.
Well, the original condition is called long segmented tracheal stenosis, and that often just basically means the windpipe is tiny and it wasn't growing with him. And it also had a pulmonary artery sling, so it's where the artery is wrapped around the windpipe, constricting it. Hence, the development of his lower sort of cardi, back and thoracic area is restricted and smaller than it should be. And it just really, what he's got now is something called tracheobronchomalacia, where the airways are floppy. So he's had surgery to correct that, which is pioneering surgery. They've tried airway stenting to try and scaffold the airway open to negate needing a tracheostomy and a ventilator. That didn't work for Henry. This is the way we keep him safe. This is the way he lives a normal life. And it's just really, as he is now, he looks really well, you know, how he plays and he's understanding everything. He's just a normal 4-year-old, but they just can't seem to get him off the ventilator. They couldn't even have breaks off it. So it's just a difficult position to be in now, but like I say, we make the most of it. And we're just so grateful to Great Ormond Street, because if it wasn't for the life-saving surgeries that they developed, we wouldn't be here today. So we're very well managed by them, and our local team leads help us with respiratory support at home as well. But Great Ormond Street, just phenomenal, just keeping Henry here basically. We're so grateful to them.
Siobhan, I love the fact that Henry's not listened to a word you've said, nothing. He's paying no attention whatsoever. Can we ask Henry can I ask Henry a question?
Henry, Charlie, I'd like to ask you a question. Will you listen?
Henry, can I ask you a question? Can you tell me your 3 favourite things to do? What are your 3 favourite things to do?
Hide and seek, and daddy, and play hide and seek.
Hide and seek, go and play with daddy, and hide and seek again.
Sounds like a
reading the only thing.
And I need to play hide and seek, going in the door. And play with the farms.
Yeah, hide and seek and playing in the farm.
Sounds fantastic. I was so impressed, Henry, by seeing you on your bike.
Yes.
Yeah, you're great on your bike, aren't you?
Siobhan, a lot of people have been doing a lot of work on how to make it work. You know, the practicalities. You know, seeing the ventilator on the truck behind the bike. It's brilliant what you're doing.
Well, my background as an occupational therapist has really stand me in good stead for having Henry, and it's knowing kind of what's out there or what's the possibility to try and solve the problem that you're having. So for us, it was about creating Henry as much independence as possible. So once he was free on his bike off stabilizers and going quicker on the bike, how do we keep up? Well, luckily I'm quite fit and able, and the people that help us now, like grandmas, are pretty fit and can run after him as well. But if you're not as fit and able, how do you keep up with a 4-year-old? So the trailer made by Cerebro was just amazing. It just means that Henry's got to pull about 12 kilograms behind him on the bike, which obviously is difficult, but it solves the problem. So yeah, just being an occupational therapist has really helped me in so many ways with Henry. And it's just about giving that independence wherever possible. We just try and let him have the little snap of independence that he really needs, and we all need. You know, not being attached to your child isn't normal. It's difficult, and just going down a path, you know, down a slide, they all have bars at the top of the slide for safety. Well, for Henry, that's a real big problem. So hence, if he goes down, I go down, you know.
Siobhan, I should say as well, it's so gorgeous to hear him chattering away in the background, because there was a point where you thought he might not ever be able to talk, to use his vocal cords.
Yeah. In the original surgery, when he was 5 weeks old at Great Ormond Street, it's all tiny microscopic surgery. There was a nick of the vocal cord, so one of them became paralysed. And it just meant that we never knew whether we'd have a voice. And it wasn't until April 2020 at Easter that we started to hear a voice, because having a tracheostomy as well prevents sort of voice sometimes as well. And then just April 2020 just started to make some sounds. And so now to hear him talk away, it just fills me with happiness and joy, and all the family really, because we used to hear not having a voice and relying heavily on Makaton signing, which was phenomenal for his communication, and we still use now. But yeah, his voice is just delightful to hear. We absolutely love. We say to him all the time, your voice is beautiful.
Well, look, Siobhan, while Henry's busy smashing things around, can you give us a big wave to say goodbye?
Henry, are we going to say bye to Charlie and Rachel? Goodbye. Goodbye.
There we go.
Thank you for having us.
Oh,
Perfect ending. Just readjusting the camera.
that was absolutely gorgeous. Our thanks to Siobhan and Henry for talking to us this morning.
Have a lovely weekend. Now, Big Swan's time for Morning Live.
Thank you both. Coming up on Morning Live today, if you're one of the 4 million households who uses prepayment energy meters, Rav Walding has a warning about the scam that could leave you paying twice.
Plus, asthma kills 3 people a day in the UK. Dr. Poonam explains how so many of these deaths are avoidable.
Yeah, and we're heading to the countryside with actor Jill Halfpenny to learn about the roots of Easter traditions. Happy Good Friday. Welcome to Morning Live with me and Joanna Page. Absolute pleasure.
Well, it's lovely to be here.
My worry about the show today is that I might get a little bit more Welsh.
Well, probably, yeah, by the end of it, we'll just be like, come on, let's go get our Easter eggs together.
Do you know what I mean? Could be like Gethin and Stacey. What a great idea for a show. Why did we think about this?
Gethin and Stacey. Very good.
Lots of people might be traveling around the country actually over the weekend, seeing family, of course, seeing people Easter for the first time, 2 years? We've seen that Prince Harry and Meghan have stopped by to see the Queen in London, on the way to Holland for the Invictus Games. What are you doing this weekend?
Well, seeing both sets of grandparents.
Nice.
Not really to do anything very nice. I'm just going to sort of palm the kids off on them and just eat lots of chocolate.
Good plan. Let's see what our family are doing. Rav Walding, Dr. Purnham, Anna Hart, lovely to see you. Any Easter plans?
I have no plans.
Oh.
I think I'm alone.
That's
Yeah, my stepson and Rich are off to watch the football together. So we just me and Oisin eating a roast lamb together.
I'm so glad I asked.
I tell you what, that sounds quite nice to me. I've got 4 cakes. I quite like to do that.
You might want to go to Dr. Purnham's house. She's got it all going on Sunday, haven't you?
Oh, we are. We're going to be rolling our eggs down the hill. So yeah, so we tend to take hard-boiled eggs, we paint and decorate them, and we all find a lovely hill. We roll our eggs down, and the winner gets a prize.
Oh, wow.
Super fun.
Sounds like fun, yeah. Right, we'll be all what time?
9 o'clock.
Easter is, of course, the biggest celebration in the Christian calendar. Very shortly, BBC Radio Manchester's Mike Sweeney meets the Reverend stepping out of the church and into the pub in a bid to attract more people to attend.
Plus, we couldn't have a Good Friday show without serving you up some eggs. Anna showing us how to get your poached eggs perfectly round and runny in the middle.
Yes, what's the secret then?
Yes, I've got all the tricks and all the tips, but the key is fresh eggs. That's the key.
I
Fresh
don't
eggs.
believe it's just that. It's got to be more than I'm 45. I've never made a perfect poached egg.
I know what you mean. We're still trying and things. Everyone thinks they have a hack or a trick. So if you think you know best, please get in touch today. We'd love to hear from you. Also, we've got something really special to show you on the show this morning. An exclusive preview of Sir David Attenborough's latest incredible BBC show. He's bringing to life the final days of dinosaurs on Earth using groundbreaking new evidence. That's in around 25 million years' time.
And from dinosaurs to the huge elephant in the room, we haven't mentioned chocolate yet.
Let's do it now, please.
Let's do it now. Don't worry, Nadia Hussain has been to meet the chocolatier, turning 20 kilograms of the sweet stuff into a massive, irresistible rabbit. That's in around 35 minutes.
I reckon I could eat it in 35 minutes.
You think you could?
I reckon I'd
Give it a good go.
Yeah, I love chocolate. Plus, it's the end of the week, and it's a bit of a treat for you. We're reuniting Reese and Nancy for Strictly Fitness. They've been like that for hours. Nice to see you both. What a pleasure to have you both on the show this week. Of course, Reece, we start with you on Monday.
Yes, we're going to go through all the moves today. We're going to look at Monday, Danny Harmer's shoulder roll from the Jive. Then we'll move into Tuesday, which Nancy did.
And Amy's quick step.
And then we're going to go to Ore's Pet from his Jive, which is on Wednesday.
Finally, it's our favorite cha.
So we're doing all those moves this morning, so get ready to sweat.
Lovely.
Just relax and really
We're going to really
chill,
push it.
relax.
We're going to go for it. Put that second hip into good use, all
No,
right?
you don't want. You
Are
want
you ready?
to relax
Okay.
and have a nice session.
Good. Yes. I'm getting some real mixed messages there.
I am, but I'm very excited.
Yeah, we'll put it together a bit later on. But first, it's our warning of the week. Now, as we know, energy prices are at their highest in living memory, Rav. And the warning today is for people who are using prepayment meters.
Yeah, this is a really strong warning that's actually been released by Action Fraud, who's the UK's reporting centre for fraud and cybercrime. And it's about fraudsters that are targeting people on these prepayment meters, offering cloned keys for more than it should be. So people are saying, right, you can have this key that's got £50 worth of electricity credit on there. You can have it for, say, £25. And that might sound very appealing for lots of people at the moment, especially when money is so tight for so many. But it's a scam. It's not how it works. Because if someone does buy one of these things from a fraudster, the energy companies know how much energy they are using and how much they should be paying. And unfortunately, they are then going to be billing the people again. So they'll not only pay once to the fraudster, but they'll also be paying to the energy companies as well. So they're paying twice, so they're not saving anything whatsoever.
That's just awful. How do the prepayment meters work?
Okay, so actually lots of people have these. There are in around 4 million UK homes at the moment. And there's two different types. We've got key meters, which we can see an example of here. And we've also got smart card meters, which we can see here. We're focusing on the key type meters for this scam. And it's where people can buy a top up, similar to a mobile phone top up of £5, £10, £20, whatever they can or want to pay for. And it's for those that really either don't want to have a set amount coming out every month from their account or can't afford the same amount to come out every month that choose to use a meter in this way. So you buy your credit and then you can see how much you've got left, and when you need to, you'll top up and put some more on. And of course, that's where the scammers are coming in, because they're approaching people at their homes, offering a cloned key, saying, well, actually, you can have more than you pay for here, which sounds appealing to many, but unfortunately, it's not.
So if you've been scammed, is there anything you can do about it?
Yeah, and lots have been, Geth, I'm afraid. It's around 200,000 people we know about have been done in this way. So I would say absolutely report it to your energy company straight away. They don't work like this. They don't send people to your homes with keys that you can buy at discounted rate. It's just not what they do. So report it to your energy company. Also, report to Action Fraud. And also, if you're in Scotland, report it to the police there, I would advise. You can also report the actual salesperson themselves to Citizens Advice and Trading Standards. You can do it all online. It's nice and easy, but we'll make sure that all those details are on our website, that people can do that as well. It's important to report it. The more people do report these things, the more action can be taken against it.
How can you avoid falling into this trap?
Well, they don't do this. The big energy companies just don't do that. They're not going to come to your home. So straight away, if someone does come to your home offering this discounted key, be very, very wary. You can always do the checks if someone does come to your home claiming to be from an energy company, because of course they can legitimately come to check on the meters, to do some repair work. But you can always make sure it's at an allocated time, that they're there at the time they should be. You can check with the energy company that they are who they say they are. They should have identification. That you can do all your check, and it's about being diligent. Doing those checks is so important. People shouldn't just come out of the blue to your doorstep offering you a key for a discounted price.
Yeah. Lots of people, of course, will be hitting the roads this weekend to see their families. I mean, some people are staying put and doing egg rolling. But for people who are travelling, Rap, I know you're bringing a little bit of a warning for people this weekend.
Yeah, this is a warning from me. It's about the law that's changed around using one of these things, a mobile phone, behind the wheel of your car. This came in just a few days ago on the 25th of March, and it's made it a lot easier to get into hot water if you're holding your phone behind the wheel of your car. So before it was just if you use your phone for making a call or texting behind the wheel of your car. But now, if you're holding your phone and you use it for, what other uses do you use your phones for? Just shout. Music, okay, illegal. Email, illegal.
Photos,
illegal. All of these things, if you're holding that phone, it's illegal to basically do anything. Opening an app, it's illegal. 6 points on your license, a minimum £200 fine. If you go to court, it could be a lot more. If you've only passed your test within the last 2 years, you will lose your license.
What about the map?
It's
What's
not
with
worth
the
it.
map?
If it's in your hand, illegal. So now it's really important. If you have to use your phone in the car for any of the reasons, like for a sat nav, for example, it has to be in a holder. It has to be in place, not in your hand.
So get the phone in the holder, hands free.
Leave it alone.
Start your journey.
Leave it alone.
Stay
Yeah.
safe.
Once it's in there, in position, leave it.
So
Don't touch it. Really important. That one.
Thanks, Rav. An Easter bonus from Rav.
Yes.
Above and beyond. Easter is not just a time to see friends, it's also the biggest event in the Christian calendar.
And as BBC Radio Manchester's Mike Sweeney's been finding out, the celebration is now changing and evolving.
Easter's a time for reflection, and this year my thoughts have turned to my time as an altar boy in Salford as a young lad. It was all very formal, it was vestments, it was incense, it was high church, and you know, I used to go to mass 7 days a week. But these days I go to church miles less than I used to, and I'm not alone. Despite Easter being the most significant event of the Christian calendar, when believers mark the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ, traditional church attendance is estimated to have more than halved since the 1980s. When I was a kid at church, I just wanted the service to go as quick as possible. And you know something? Although I quite enjoyed it, I wish it had been a little bit more chilled out. A bit of fun, maybe. So I'm off to a place where they've got the fun on tap. Today in Bradford, Reverend Graham Dutton is doing his best to make faith and Easter a more lively celebration in the hope of attracting new worshippers. He's combining his two loves, God and beer, by holding services in this pub.
Welcome to 1 at 11 here at the Peacock Bar. It's lovely to see you all here to share in worship with us this morning.
This is unlike any church I've ever been to. Tell us about it.
I've always been part of two different communities when I was growing up, my church community and the pub community that I was part of. And so for me, this is an opportunity to bring those two things together. Here we do lead different services. Instead of just using hymns, we might use film clips. We use different stories from all around different elements of pop culture. So for instance, we might use songs that help us to think about confession, or we might use songs that help us to think about other people in our prayers.
So I'm going to put you on the spot here, just one track for today. What would it be?
It would be Liam Gallagher's For What It's Worth. It talks about sometimes us needing to be aware that some of the things that we've done are perhaps the things that we'd always choose to do. Liam Gallagher leading us in our prayers of confession there. There's a lot within those lyrics that do talk about the relationship that we can have with God.
It's the Easter weekend. What does the actual weekend mean spiritually to you?
It's the most important weekend of the year for me. To mourn both the death of Christ, but then to celebrate the glorious resurrection of Christ, something which is so key to who we are as a Christian people.
And I don't want to be irreverent. Even when I was an altar boy, Easter to me always meant Easter eggs.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll definitely be eating some chocolate along the way as well.
At today's service, we're making paper crosses to symbolise the Easter story.
There we go.
Before being offered communion, using piece of bread and cake. Got to tell you that this would really make me comfortable, especially if I hadn't been, say, to a religious service for a while.
I find that same kind of very relaxed vibe here as well. One of the things that we've always tried to do is say to people who might never think of crossing our doorsteps into one of our traditional church buildings, we are here for you. We think that there are things that we can do that will help. We think that there are things that are important about the story that we have to tell about life and death and resurrection, and we'll help you to explore that story here, somewhere where you're comfortable, and you can do all of that over a pint.
Faith and beer and rock and roll. Well, I love it, and so do the others here today.
Just feels a bit more kind of accessible. It's about, first being in the heart of life, and either in a bar in Bradford or in a church. Everybody's happy to be here because it's a choice to come. I think that's a big difference. People choose to come here.
After the service, there's time for a napper. over some cheese and olives. What a lovely bonus. Bit of cheese, bit of bread, some olives, lovely. Landlord Mitz is from a different faith, but he's really happy to host this event. So you're from a Hindu background,
Yeah.
and this is a Christian service that's been here today. How have you got involved with it?
All religions are the same, I think. Everyone's open to each other's. I actually used to go to Sunday service with the Cubs and Scouts when I was a kid, so I just think it's welcoming to anyone. And as long as you're happy doing it, that's it.
How do you think people, when they first started coming here, felt about having a service in a bar?
I don't think it were an issue, really. I think it's just the modern way of doing stuff now. You don't have to wear a suit and stuff, too. You can cover in some shoes afterwards.
Graham isn't the only one changing how we worship in the UK. There are people bringing together faith in heavy metal, faith in comedy, and of course, there's beer. It looks like Graham's on to a winner. What a great way of celebrating Easter in a religious fashion. And from me to you, a very happy Easter.
And to you, Mike, really interesting how he's bringing everyone together there. Now, Easter and spring is the time of year when asthma picks up, as the 5.5 million people who suffer from it will well know, Dr. Coonan. Horrible to have it, obviously. What is it, and why is it worse in springtime?
Yes, so asthma is a common condition that affects the lungs. Now, in otherwise fit and healthy people that have no other issues with their lungs, your airways are nice and open when you get good air into the lungs. However, if you've got asthma, you tend to have oversensitive airways, and there can be different causes. So there are some people that are more predisposed to get it because it can run in families, and people that have allergy-related conditions like eczema, hay fever, and food intolerances are at higher risk. But really, it's the triggers that are important that can cause this sensitive reaction. So typically at this time of year, we're seeing people with lots of colds, flu viruses, COVID, which is a trigger for flare-ups of asthma. But also it's springtime, and pollen is one of the commonest things that we see. So we had a huge influx of people requesting their inhalers. And so what happens is when you're in contact with a trigger and you've got asthma, it causes the airways to become inflamed. So they become narrower, so you don't have that lovely open airway. So it limits the flow of oxygen into the lungs. It causes swelling, and it can cause lots of mucus to build up as well.
Really?
Typically people will have either coughs, they'll feel really short
Really?
of breath, they might have chest tightness and wheezing as well.
How can you tell when an attack is coming on?
Yeah, it's really scary when an attack comes on. So typically you'll find people, they either start coughing, they struggle to breathe, they struggle to talk in sentences or walk, they might be holding on to the edge of furniture trying to get air and increase the volume of their lungs. In children, especially young children who can't communicate, it's important to look at the signs. So if somebody calls me up, I usually say, expose the chest. Look at the way that they're breathing. Children will breathe really fast. You'll see the muscles working really hard. You'll see them sucking in at their ribs. And that's really worrying. But what is even worse is if you notice that a child goes from that state to then becoming quieter. So this is a sign that the child is getting tired.
Yeah.
So they might become quieter, their breathing will become shallower, they might become more sleepy. You need to call urgently for 999.
All right, that is an extreme situation.
Yeah.
Very rare. But what else can you do if you see someone who's having an asthma attack?
Yeah.
What can you do to help them?
So the first thing is to actually go against what you want to do. You need to stay calm. It's quite easy to get really kind of anxious when that happens. Stay calm, get them to breathe. Always carry your inhalers with you and keep them close by. I would totally recommend this. So if you are with someone that's having an asthma attack, give them a puff of their inhaler. You can repeat that every 30 to 60 seconds to a maximum of 10 puffs. If you find after a couple of puffs there's no improvement or they're deteriorating, just call an ambulance and repeat that process until you get help.
When you're using your inhaler, you have to make sure that you are using it correctly, don't you?
Absolutely. The number of people that I see actually that are not using their inhalers effectively. So I've got a dummy inhaler here. Now, there's lots of different types of inhalers on the market. So what I would say is that when you get your prescription, either speak to your GP, speak to your practice nurse or your pharmacist, and they'll be able to talk you through how to use it. And technique is everything. So it's a medicine. Always make sure that you check the expiry date on it, that it's in date. And what you want to do is you want to give it a real good shake, and then you want to take a deep breath in until you can't breathe in anymore, and you have to create a tight seal. Too many people have too much product going everywhere else. Tight seal around the mouthpiece, and as you take a deep breath in,
you give a squish of the a squish, and you breathe that in, and then you want to wait 10 seconds and repeat the process again. And as I said, technique is everything. If you're not sure, check it out.
Rav knows how to scoosh. You've got your
You know,
inhaler with you
squish.
today.
I have, yeah. So
Forget it.
I've been using them probably 15, 20 years before I sat down with my asthma nurse, assessed my technique, and it was wrong. And it's so important what you've just said then to get it right and get the maximum into your lungs.
Yeah.
That's good advice. But I suppose you want to get to that point of an attack. How would you prevent it?
Yeah. So over the pandemic, a lot of people will have missed their asthma reviews, which you should be having regularly with your asthma nurse. So I would say that if you haven't had that, book in for that. Avoid triggers. So for some people, it's a seasonal thing. So it might be that coming into this time of year, this is where they get the flare-ups. So avoid your triggers as best as possible. Make sure that you've always got a spare inhaler to hand. And for kids as well, make sure that they've got one at school. And especially going on holidays, you'd be surprised how many people end up going on holiday forgetting their inhalers. Always have a spare one with you.
Good, lovely. Thank you very much, Dr. P. Still plenty to come on Morning Live on this Good Friday. In about 5 minutes' time, we've got an exclusive clip of Sir David Attenborough's incredible new show where he's taking us back to the dinosaurs' last hours before extinction in Dinosaurs, The Final Day.
Plus, we're going outdoors for some fresh air on an Easter walk with actor Jill Halfpenny. She tells us about the people she met on her walks, keeping alive the Easter traditions of the past.
And we couldn't have a Good Friday show without some chocolate.
Yay!
Majid Hussain has been to meet the chocolatier and team of chefs making a 20-kilogram edible bunny.
Wow.
We don't need a team of chefs though on Morning Live. Not when you've got Anna Hart in the house. I tell you what, I reckon I could take on that 20 kilograms of chocolate this weekend.
Oh,
I'd have a good go at it.
I wouldn't like to see that.
No,
I wouldn't like
not
to see that.
that. Oh, that's fair enough. We're not actually talking about chocolate eggs with you today, though. We're talking about, I was going to say,
Egg eggs.
Egg eggs, yeah, and eggs. And I know how involved and invested you are.
I'm very excited about this.
In poached eggs.
I bought all of the little silicone things. I bought the saucepans with the doodahs, and I tried all of that. And it either comes up too hard or it just doesn't work. I don't believe that you can just, all that swizzling round in a bowl, you pop it in. I don't have the trust. I just don't believe it. I want to see it in front of my very eyes.
Have you got it off your chest now, though?
Not yet, not yet. There's still more there.
Let's get some advice, man. So let's start with a poached egg then. What's the key to it?
So the key to a poached egg is a fresh egg. That's the key. In fact, it's of all of the egg dishes you can make, it's the one that it's vital that it's super fresh. So if you have eggs that you've got lying around your house and you don't know if they're going to be good for a poached egg or not, I've got a great little trick for you.
Go on, yeah.
Now you can see. So
Can't trust the best
If
of
the
fools.
egg would absolutely love this because he loves experiment. At the moment, we've got 2 cups full of vinegar and they both put in boiled eggs to see if it strips off the shell. I've got that going on in the kitchen at the moment. Yeah.
Meanwhile,
let's see about our egg
what are we looking for then?
experiment. So if your egg floats, that means that more oxygen has gotten inside the egg. So what happens is over a period of time, oxygen goes in and then eventually the egg goes off. So you don't want to eat that because it's not fresh. So the one on the bottom is fresh. That's the one that you would use for your poached.
It actually works.
Good.
Sometimes as they're not, they're still fresh, they'll be sitting down, but they'll be facing upwards. Don't make your poached egg with them ones. They're not good for poached.
Show us how to make a poached egg then, because if you're doing it, it's probably perfect.
I'm going to show you how to not just make a poached egg, but how you do batches of poached eggs. So first of all, I use a very small amount of vinegar, not much, but what this does is that it pushes the egg white onto the egg yolk, and it means that you've got nice, neat, individual eggs. So you put 3 in there, but you could probably put 4, 5, 6 in there.
Really, that many?
Yeah, I stir a nice big...
Oh, wow.
I can't cook the top part of it. And then my husband puts loads and loads of oil in.
Oh, really?
It's about that as well. And then he tips it and does that whole flicking thing, and I'm not sure about that either.
It sounds like your husband knows what he's doing.
Oh.
So you want to have a medium heated pan, not too hot because then it spits. And then I think be a little bit generous. If you're frying an egg, you're frying an egg. You know, be a little bit generous with the oil, and that will stop it sticking. But when it gets to a certain point, you just 1 or 2 spoons over the top. It runs off, but then it just cooks that creepy little film on top. You want that not to be there. And then you can see a little bit of a crispy base. That's what you want. Crispy and soft.
The lesser healthier option, it's Easter weekend. You can have a
It's all right. A part of a balanced diet, I think, is fried egg now and again.
How'd you get the nice runny bit in a boiled egg?
This is the bit I've been dying to talk about.
Is it?
I love this. I tell everybody, stop at your fried eggs, stop at with your poached eggs. This boiled egg is so great because you can do big batches of them. And all you need to do is just have a timer. So you, 6 minutes, you can have a delicious.
All right, here we go. These are the times then, yeah.
Hot boiled egg. And when I do it, I have a bowl of water, so that when I'm cracking it out of the shell, it's a bit hot and it cools down my hands a little bit. So that's quite handy. But it's great because instead of having 2 poached eggs, you can just have 1 cut in half.
And I think that is what we should be being taught in school. Because, I've never used algebra or any of my maths, but I could certainly know how to do an egg.
Yeah.
That's what we need to be learning.
That's the
Should we
important
keep the
stuff.
eggs in the fridge or out on the side? Because I don't know what to do with that.
That is such a great question. So you're poaching eggs in the fridge. If you're boiling eggs in the shell, out of the fridge.
Right.
So it depends what you're going to do with your egg. If you're going to make a cake, out of the fridge.
Okay,
Oh.
good. If there was a degree for eggs, Joe, do you think you would sign up for it?
Yes, I would, and I probably would get an A+ or whatever you get these days. A first, isn't it?
Yeah, I agree.
Well, you know, the chef top has 100 pleats in it to represent all of the egg dishes that are the chef.
Oh, I'd be well on my way. I think I probably have about 50 after this.
So I think we sorted it out. Thanks, Anna. Lovely.
Now, if we haven't got you excited
Oh,
for
nice.
the Easter weekend, do you see what I did there?
Lovely.
There's a brand new Sir David Attenborough documentary called Dinosaurs, the Final Day on BBC One tonight.
Using newly discovered fossils dating from the day an asteroid devastated our planet, paleontologist Robert De Palma and his team have been able to piece together more accurately than ever what their last hours on Earth looked like. And here's an exclusive preview.
66 million years ago, an asteroid hit the Earth, and scientists think that it was this collision that wiped out the dinosaurs. The asteroid hit in what is now the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico. It's called the Chicxulub asteroid after the town nearest to the center of its crater. If the extinction of the dinosaurs was a crime, the detectives solving it would have plenty of evidence. They would see that the asteroid was in the right place at the right time. They would see that no dinosaurs survived after the hit. They would have a piece of the murder weapon, a fragment of the asteroid. But they would be missing one very important thing: a body. However, a remarkable dig site promises to change that.
This is the most incredible thing that we could possibly imagine here. The best case scenario. We're excavating this mass death layer of fish from the surge sent up by the impact, and we've got dinosaur remains. The one thing that we would always want to find at this site, and here we've got it. This is unreal. I cannot process this in my brain. No, I am absolutely blown away by this. Just my heart is literally pumping out of my chest, wondering what is behind there. Just a couple centimeters back in the outcrop. What is waiting for us back there?
The team keeps digging.
So this could be a rib cage. It could be laying against ribs that are curved.
There's something here. That's hard. That's bone right next to the skin. So that's an articular surface right there. So this is either a hip or a shoulder element.
after hours of painstaking work.
And we can go from the thigh of the animal. There's the knee, and then you've got the little calf muscles of the dinosaur where they're bulging out, and you go down to the ankle bones, and these are the toes of the feet. We've got nails at the tips of the toes. It's a beautifully preserved leg, all articulated, covered with skin.
The complete leg of a dinosaur.
In my wildest dreams, I never expected to find a dinosaur leg in this deposit.
I mean, and then it's got skin and tissue. It does look just like a drumstick.
It looks like a Thanksgiving turkey just laid out in the ground. And this weird scale pattern on the thigh of the animal, which we've never seen in a dinosaur before.
Well, dinosaurs don't have any form of defense, so they have to have camouflage or something.
That's a good point. So this could have been some sort of camouflage marking.
Robert thinks he has found the body in question. A dinosaur that might itself have witnessed the cataclysmic impact.
It's absolutely epic, that, isn't it?
It
Anything
is.
with Sir David Attenborough, just brilliant.
Just looks so cinematic, doesn't
Can't
it?
wait, can't wait. 6:30 tonight, that is Dinosaurs, the final day at BBC One. Before that, though, there's something else to look out for on the TV this afternoon, starring actor Jill Halfpenny.
Now, Jill will be taking us on a walk through the stunning countryside of the North East and Scotland to find out about the roots of the rituals we practice at Easter. And she joins us now. Hiya, Jill.
Morning, Jill.
Hey.
This is such a lovely idea. It starts today. What can you tell us about the show?
Well, first of all, I just wanted to do a show where we were able to show everyone how beautiful the Northeast is and how stunning and it is. And people forget, I mean, look at this, what you can see on your screens now. It's absolutely amazing. But we then sort of connected that with Easter, and we started talking to people about what Easter means to them, if anything, because there's no judgment there. And we just sort of started to talk to people about traditions or rituals, things they look forward to at this time of year, because it is such a beautiful time of year, and it is kind of all about like rebirth and renewal, and it tends to sort of have a special meaning for people, even if they're not religious.
Well, it is true that people have sort of forgotten the Christian meaning behind Easter. I mean, why is that still important in all of the places that you visited?
You know what? I think that it doesn't matter how you celebrate Easter. If it's just that you look forward to the Easter egg, or if it's that you are deeply religious and it's the most important time of the year, for me it doesn't matter. What I was interested in was traditions and how traditions and rituals keep us together as communities. And that's what is important to me, because it's just sort of the connection that I think that we all of us really need in our lives. And that's what was really great, to meet all these people with such a varied like interests.
Yeah, and which you wholeheartedly got involved with. There's all kinds of different things that people may not have seen before. Let's take a look at one of the things that you enjoyed doing on the show.
The true origins of Jarpen are shrouded in mystery, but it's thought to date back to the earliest spring traditions of fertility and rebirth. And now, it's time for me to play my part.
We've had some egg rolling on the show this morning, but you were taking that very seriously. Is it egg jarping?
Egg jarpen, and it's basically like conkers, but with eggs. So you have boiled eggs that have to be boiled by the adjudicator. In this respect, it was Eileen. And you basically have to crack your opponent's egg without cracking yours. And whoever wins is the person who's cracked everybody else's eggs and has no cracks in theirs. And it was highly competitive. And like you said, I got very involved.
Did you feel very competitive?
Always. At first, I'm like, this is just a bit of fun, and then I'm like, I want to win really bad.
So aside from that, what else can we expect from the second part on Easter Sunday?
So we also there's a great tradition up in Jedburgh where they play a game called the Ham Bar, and that's basically the town splits into the uppies and the downies, which is basically just the people that live up the hill and the people that live down the hill. A ball gets thrown into the air, into a crowd of uppies and downies. Whoever catches it then has to either run, but usually they've got no chance of running because there's too many people surrounding them. And the guys just get into this huge scrum, and they will play this game for like 12 or 13 hours because new balls get thrown each time, and they play for money, and they play this every year. And it was so gorgeous because there was kids out in the street who were like 5 years old watching their parents play. It was really beautiful that it's just their tradition. They do it just for them, for no one else. It keeps the community together. They look forward to it every year. It was such good fun. It had such a spirit about them all. I loved it.
Yeah. Listen, Jill, it wouldn't be right to have you on the show. We do Strictly Fitness at the end of the show every day, and I think one of the most iconic dances that's ever been on Strictly was your jive back in 2004. And just because it feels right, we're just going to play a bit of it and enjoy it, Jill. And I know so many people still talk to you about it, don't they?
They do. It's just become. People say that when they listen to the song, they think about me, and it was just a fantastic experience. And of course, like I did the tour with you, Gethin, so I ended up doing that. I mean, I must have done that dance, including rehearsals, like up to 100 times now. Wow. And to be honest, it just has nothing but positive memories for me. I mean, you know the show, and it's just such a joy, isn't it? It's like. There's just nothing about it that you can't like, and you just meet brilliant people as well.
And we feel it every day at the end of the show on Morning Live. Jill, love to see you. Thanks very much.
Thanks so much. Cheers.
Thank you, Jill. And we can all go on an Easter journey with Jill at 1:30 today. And episode 2 is on Sunday at 11:25, both on BBC One. Well, there's one Easter tradition we love to keep alive, and this time of year gives us the perfect excuse to indulge in our favourite chocolate.
But while you might be able to polish off a couple of eggs over the weekend, it might be a job to get through a 20-kilogram chocolate bunny.
Easy.
Oh, Chef Nadia Hussain has been to meet a chocolatier with one of the sweetest jobs in the world.
Nothing quite beats chocolate at Easter time, and I'm hoping to come up with a suitable seasonal showstopper.
As a baker, I have a love-hate relationship with chocolate. It can be devilishly difficult to make this stuff look pretty.
So I'm delighted to have the chance to learn from master chocolatier Massimo Bishop Scotti. Massimo doesn't just work with chocolate, he sculpts it.
What we're going to do is the bunny rabbit holding an Easter egg.
Seems easy enough.
So to do what we're doing today, we're probably looking at using about 20 kilos of chocolate in total.
That's like a dream, 20 kilos of chocolate. The average Easter egg or bunny is made by pouring molten chocolate into a mold. But as Massimo and I will be creating a sculpture by hand, he simply blitzes chocolate pieces together in a blender.
Wow, my goodness.
So we work it then, and we start making whatever we want.
I didn't know chocolate did this.
That's right.
This is fascinating.
Yeah.
Usually, modeling chocolate has glucose added to keep it pliable, but that compromises the flavour, so ours will be all Belgian chocolate.
It just feels like just the clay that you have at primary school, except it smells so much nicer.
But it's much trickier to shape than I expected.
You have to work with it a lot quicker.
Yes, yeah, if you can see now, just leave it for a little bit, it will set in your hand.
So it's harder to work with the modelling chocolate, the one that you make with glucose.
Absolutely, yes, because the glucose is in there to actually keep the chocolate soft.
Yeah. Made this way, sculptures like ours can take days to complete. You've only got 6 hours.
No pressure.
What this is like being in the tent again. And I've only got as far as the foot. Time to call in the cavalry. Massimo's patisserie students.
Each of you are going to do one part of the rest of the body.
Is this the biggest solid sculpture that you've ever done?
As far as, so handmade sculpture, this is probably the biggest one I ever done.
With the clock ticking, Massimo has 8 of us hard at work, and there's no time for small talk.
And clearly everybody enjoys this because everybody's completely quiet and engrossed, which is so cool.
Anastasia and I have got 1 ear each.
And I thought yours next to mine. I might be wrong. At least we'll have 2 symmetrical wrong ears, right? It's fine, do it. See, it's looking the same already.
It's really hard to get the chocolate to do what you want. Sean has the tail sorted out. Well, sort of.
Supposed to be doing the tail, but it's a bit more solid the head on than I like.
He's got a fat leg.
It's got one foot bigger than the other, isn't it?
We can shave it down though, can't
Yeah, that's right. I wish I could do that with my bed.
Oh.
After a frantic day of shaping, carving, and smoothing, our Easter Bunny is slowly taking on his unique shape.
With the mold would be the same over and over and over. We would not produce something like this ever exactly the same again. Each one is different.
I'm building my next house with chocolate now.
With all 9 of us working for 6 hours, our Easter showstopper is still very much a work in progress. But as my time here is up, Massimo adds a few touches to hint at what I hope will be its final glory.
But it is made of chocolate, so I don't know if it's going to make it all the way to Easter.
Size that bunny. Delicious bunny.
I don't know if I fancy that with it solid all the way through it when it's hollow.
Yeah, I'd be absolutely fine with that. Reece and Nancy standing by for Strictly Fitness, but before we get to the dancing, let's get to some of your questions. Dr. Purdon talking about asthma today. Stacey is asking for help with her son who struggles with asthma during the night because of a cough. What can they do?
Yes. So if everything has been done, including like checking the inhaler technique and the medication, nighttime coughing to me tells me that the asthma is not well controlled. So I would want to see your son in surgery and I would want to review, and it sounds like medication needs to be increased.
So go and see GP as soon as possible with that. Okay, that's actually really, really good advice there for Stacey. Simon saying that his asthma has gone away, but will it ever come back?
So asthma can, yes, it can make a rebound. So this all comes back down to your triggers, knowing what your triggers are and avoiding them. But yes, unfortunately, it can sometimes come back. And if it does, make sure that you do get a review because you may need to revisit your inhalers.
Okay.
Gosh. Well, obviously, we were talking about poached egg hacks earlier on, and Cara has sent a message saying she's 48, so I'm not the only one, and she's never tried to do poached eggs until this morning when her husband showed her. And like Anna said, the secret is to add a little vinegar to the water, and she said it's delicious. I'm not going to believe it until I actually physically do it myself.
It's the first thing you're going to do after the show, isn't it?
It is.
Try a poached egg, and it'll work as well. Thank you very much. Right, it's time for Strictly Fitness. Let's cue the music. Here they come. What will it be today? Oh, that is hard, actually. Yeah, good. It has been a lot of fun with these two this week, and we've done some brilliant moves. And we're going to get a little reminder now. So, Reece, we started on Monday, didn't
Yes, we did. We started with Danny Harmer's shoulder roll from her jive. So we're doing a little bit of that. It's good for the shoulders. Limbering yourselves up.
Back to Tuesday, Karen and Amy's quick step.
Yes, and then Ore did the pec from his jive. We'll look at that as well.
Oh my gosh, finally it's our cha-cha-cha.
I'm so sorry. You two were so good on Strictly. Absolutely brilliant. Fair play. But can you remind us how to do the moves, please?
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so the first one is the shoulder roll. So very much just roll and step back. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4.
This is why it really came, isn't it?
2, 3, 4. That's the shoulder roll.
Yes, the next one is Lizzie. So we start with the arm. So your arm just need to push out. Yeah, it's
Sat
that
down,
fast.
just push it with the
Yeah,
arms.
you sit down, you just push out. But if you want to with your leg, a little bit of kick left.
Oh, you're so in sync. It's so impressive. It's almost like you've done a show together.
Maybe. Then we're going to do Ore's pec, not pecs. That's a different thing. So you hold your hands up like this, and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
And it's my favorite,
Yes.
our cha-cha movement. So your arm start with low, and the middle, and the up, and the clap. And if you want to add some body reaction, so your hip reaction will be laka, zaka, zaka, boom. And the arm together will do boom, zak, zak, boom.
Should say as well that the track that you've chosen today is quite quick. So you're going to try and do it slow to start with. But all I'd like to say is good luck. Good luck.
We'll
take it away, Alan.
Let's go for it.
Friday workout.
Here we go.
It's Nancy Shue and Reece Stevenson.
1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4.
How's on the Please, people, come back soon, please. That's all we've got time for today. We'll be back on Monday. Sam is talking about osmosis and telling us how the first new drug in a decade could make a difference for sufferers in the UK.
Plus, finance expert Iona Bain has got her balance sheet up to teach us how to keep control of our finances with a budget.
Yes, and Alex Jones and JJ Chalmers are joining us live from Holland to tell us about the Invictus Games. Have a great weekend. We'll see you Monday. Thanks, guys. Thanks, everyone. See you soon. Bye-bye.
The FA Cup semi-finals live on the BBC. The FA Cup semi-finals, including West Ham United v Manchester City in the women's and Manchester City v Liverpool in the men's, starts tomorrow, 11:30, BBC One and iPlayer.
The final days of the dinosaurs' reign on planet Earth have long remained a mystery. Until now. A remarkable new dig site that could show us how the last dinosaurs lived and died. Now we're about to discover what happened on the day the asteroid hit.
Dinosaurs, the final day. Tonight at 6:30 on BBC One and iPlayer.
I've never seen you like this. So happy, so alive.
People will talk.
Of course they'll talk. Have you seen her lately? Mrs. Autumn? Who's Mrs. Lawton? I'm very happy that the three of us are friends.
Gentleman Jack continues Sunday at 9 on BBC One and iPlayer. Welcome to Good Friday morning and the start of a bank holiday weekend. Whether you're going away or staying at home, we've got you covered on BBC One. Close calls on camera in 45 minutes. First, though, putting a stop to the scam.
The UK is being bombarded with scam emails, texts, and calls.
Good afternoon, this is a Visa Security Department.
You have been charged $399.
Using your debit card details, they are trying to take 600.
From fraudsters posing as real companies.
We are here to secure your account.
Every year we are losing billions. The authorities can't keep up, so we are fighting back. We've teamed up with ethical hacker Jim Browning. He works undercover, using his tech skills to hack into scam call centres.
I see these scammers trying to steal money from the most vulnerable people in society, and I can't sit and just watch that.
We've set up a purpose-built tech hub to intervene and stop the scams before they happen. In here, we'll be monitoring scammers that Jim's hacked into. We'll be able to see and hear everything they do. And if we think anyone's about to lose any money, we'll intercept.
Stop what you're doing, sir. I believe you are being scammed.
This is Scam Interceptors. Coming up, we do everything in our power to try and save a man from falling for a scam at work.
Please tell him to hang up right now, because he's about to transfer money.
We meet the volunteers using their free time.
I'll come back later.
On roads safe.
It's a question of getting people to understand that they're driving a murder weapon.
A murder
scammer
weapon.
tries his utmost to scam an innocent woman out of thousands of pounds.
You have done a mistake, ma'am. Okay, and it is showing me that 7,999. That money has gone into your account. Okay,
it's a lie.